Welcome back to the Blek Reality. We're going to keep it real today. We're going to dive into the unknown and break down the facts you probably didn't know you needed. Today, we're unraveling one of the most intriguing and most controversial topics that's out there right now: UAPs,
UAPs.
or unidentified anomalous phenomena. Some call them UFOs, others claim that they're more than just crafts, they're proof we're not alone. So, over decades, the US government, private aerospace companies, and even whistleblowers have played a part in building a trail of evidence and also building a wall. But the real question is, how deep does this rabbit hole go? Well, stay tuned. We about to get into it. Y'all know what this is. It's the Bleak Reality. Let's go. All right. So we're going to start with a timeline. So we're going to see how these puzzle pieces start to connect. Let's take it back to the 1950s when the aerospace company first collected some mysterious material that could be tied to these UAPs. Now we're going to think about that. That was literally decades ago. They were already whispers of these technologies. Now we're going to fast forward to the 1980s when a submarine officer in the North Atlantic made a report about a UAP that was outpacing their sub in the middle of a storm. Like not just cruising, but moving in ways no human tech could pull off. And then it gets wild. Before 2017, we have reports of biologics being collected, possibly connected to these phenomena. Just think about that. Biologics. We're talking about bodies, right? Or samples of bodies, possibly connected to this phenomenon. A government worker even gets injured during a UAP related incident. That's not something you see in the headlines every day. But in 2017, the public started paying attention when the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or AATIP, came to light. This was the first big confirmation that the US government was taking UAP seriously. And also, don't forget about uh, Trump's Space Force. That also took place. So, things, as you can see in recent years, was starting to heat up. So now let's talk about who's actually holding the cards. This ain't just the DOD in the corner. We got big players like Lockheed Martin and Bigelow Aerospace, companies rumored to have had their hands in this stuff since at least the 1950s. So at one point, this was alleged transfer of materials between these companies, but the CIA reportedly blocked it. Yeah, the CIA. So now we're got government agencies and private contractors possibly holding materials of alien origin. Man, just think about that. So in the 1920s, a Mr. Alzando, a former intelligence official, signed documentation saying he couldn't speak about the crash retrievals, but by 2023, the government couldn't keep the lid on anymore. So a House Oversight Subcommittee, a hearing dropped off some serious heat. Alzando himself confirmed that the U.S. government not only recovered UAPs, but is actively trying to reverse engineer them. And don't forget, a man named Bob Lazar said the same thing, and he was blackballed pretty much, um, and kicked out of Area 51, arrested and some more shit. So, um, and also another whistleblower, Mr. Grush, claims some UAPs are interdimensional beings. Like, wrap your head around that for a minute, and don't forget, I think it was last year, 2023 or sometime in 2024, but it was recent in Miami with the interdimensional beings supposedly sighted down in Miami, right? So let's keep that, put a pin in that and remember that. And here where it gets real secretive. Have you heard about something called the M constellation? Well, it's an acknowledged special access program that's documenting these UAPs. We're talking next level classification. And according to journalist Michael Schellenberger, this program and others are actively studying materials collected from these crashes. We're talking tech that demonstrates instantaneous acceleration, moves in ways I just can even dream of, and also possess technology that we simply just don't understand. So let me tell you something that shook me. There are reports of biologics, biologic samples being part of these recoveries. What does that mean? Are these samples of extraterrestrials? I would think so. No one is outright confirming that, but the breadcrumbs are there, you know. So let's continue on with this. Why keep all of this in the dark? Mr. Alzando says secrecy is the name of the game. Everything is classified at the highest level. If this technology is legit, it could flip the script on our understandings of physics, energy, and even national security. But the question is, who benefits from this? Who are we hiding, or who are they hiding it from? And why are they keeping it hidden? And what happens when the truth finally does come out? That's where we're at right now, because the public is demanding answers. Some other government bodies are demanding answers. And from what we can see, the walls are starting to show cracks. So here's where we land, no pun intended. Over decades, we've seen reports of materials, biologics, secret programs, and whistleblowers risking everything to spill the truth. UAPs aren't just science fiction anymore. They're a growing part of this of the conversation. We see it on the news now pretty much nightly. Whether these are interdimensional beings or advanced tech or something else entirely, one thing is clear: the powers that be have been sitting on this for a long time. My question to you is, what do you believe? And are you ready for what happens when the truth comes knocking? Because eventually it will. So I'm gonna thank y'all for tuning in to the Blek Reality. If this episode blew your mind, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And don't forget, this podcast goes deeper every week. So hit the subscribe button, like and follow, hate if you will. Keep the conversation going. Until next time, this is your boy Bleak. Stay curious, and I'm out.